yo, yo, yo. Yo, 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 yo. We back, we back, we back. We back, we back, we back. What's up, people? We back, and we better than ever. It's a Ravens later? I ain't even noticed that. We back and we better than ever. But y'all, so yesterday, what's up, Clemson? Yesterday on live, we started reviewing or reacting to an interview that Candace Owens did with Nick Cannon, right? Now I told y'all, yo, some of the people that made me decide that it's time for me to start speaking up and getting on YouTube was my son, Candace Owens, Meek Mills, the Hodge twins. You know, some of these people was very liberal. Because I felt like they was lying. I don't know if it was deliberate or it was just from lack of, I don't want to say education, but lack of experience. But I felt as though, yo, I had a need to speak out, yo, because that's dangerous, yo. You know, part of the reason what make Charleston White dangerous is because he feeds into stereotypes, you know. And when a person feeds into stereotypes, you're basically what's the word? Oh God, y'all know I still haven't called fucking Xfinity. I ain't called them motherfuckers yet. But yeah, you basically feeding into what a lot of people already think about us, and that's dangerous, you know, because some of these stereotypes that, you know, that may have been true at one point, we got better at DIY. And when it comes down to Candace Owens, I told y'all that, yo, she's one of the people that know about what's going on. Well, thinks she know about what's going on in the community because she read books. And anybody will tell you, experience is the best teacher. But Candace Owens has a large following, a very large following. Candace Owens from White Plains. I thought she was from Connecticut. And when I look back in the day, it said she was from Connecticut. Where is Candace Owens from? Oh, I knew that's what it was. Stamford, Connecticut. I'm ready to say, what the fuck? What? They didn't say no White. Hold on, let me write the back of my camera. They ain't say nothing about no White Plains, New York back when I first looked into it. Now all of a sudden she's from New York. White Plains, New York. Y'all got wise that, yo, they be real strategic with that shit, man. You know, lying about where people from to try to give them some type of credibility. Oh, shit. She's from White Plains, was born in White Plains, New York in 1989, but grew up in Stamford, Connecticut. What is the black population in Stamford, Connecticut?
Stamford, Connecticut has 17,395 Black or African American population and 16.8K Black or African American, non-Hispanic, residents. Overall, 12.9% of the total population, excluding multiracial, in Stamford is Black. In 2021, there were 3.9 times more white, non-Hispanic, residents, 65.4K in Stamford, Connecticut than any other race or ethnicity. The second and third most common ethnic groups are 16.8K Black or African American, non-Hispanic, and 14.6K white, Hispanic, residents. 27.8% of the people in Stamford, Connecticut are Hispanic, 37.5K people.
So, for her to be so knowledgeable in the Black community, you would think she would come from an area that's predominantly Black, in which she don't. So, what I'm saying is, a lot of things that she say isn't true. You know, she gains her knowledge. She gains her knowledge through books and reading, yo. But like I said, your experience is the best teacher. And a lot of things she say, her heart might be in the right place, yo, but she be wrong. Yeah, well, stick around. You'll see what I'm talking about. So she did an interview with Nick Cannon, and we're going to talk about this interview. We're going to talk about this interview. But before we do that, let me show y'all something. So Vlad TV just did an interview with J-Mane, and I want y'all to see something. So remember y'all, I told y'all I think Vlad is trying to find his way. Vlad is trying to find his way in Durk case. He's doing everything he can, interviewing anybody close to Durk or close to the situation that he can to find his way into Durk case. Like, I think Vlad was very upset that Durk mentioned him in that song, you know, because in his mind, it probably he think it can hurt his brand. Being as though Durk is so, you know, Durk was so big of an artist. So it hurt his brand, yo, to hear somebody like Durk say, I don't fuck with Vlad. And he said it on, you know, on a decent song. You know, the song did a lot of views, a lot of numbers. And he brings this up in almost every interview. Like, yo, since Durk been arrested, I think he done asked every single guest about Durk. Every single guest. Even brought up Lil Tim on there, asked Lil Tim, and I think this is going to be in court. Vlad asked Lil Tim, did he hear about $1 million bounty placed on his head? Now, yo, I never heard about this bounty. So for Vlad to say this was a rumor that everybody knew about, that shit must have missed me. And I'm just as much in the media as him. I pay attention to everything that's going on. I knew nothing of this $1 million bounty. And Lord Tim wasn't supposed to answer that question because Lord Tim is close to the case. You know, he too close to the case to answer that. You know, because when you answer questions like that, it gives the United States government theory credibility. You know, because they're saying Paul was murdered for hire. You know, it was money involved. So Vlad to bring Lord Tim on his platform and ask him something so police like, it was intentional. And Tim answered that question with, yeah, I heard about it. So more than likely, y'all, I would expect that to be in court. Yeah, and Lord Tim was there. Lord Tim shouldn't have never even answered that question. That question is going to be in court because I think Vlad wants to seal the deal on Durk. But I think Vlad also watches the channel. And the reason why I say Vlad watches the channel is because y'all remember I did a video. Y'all remember the video I did on King Von? The video I did on King Von, and when I said, yo, King Von took everybody down. Right? Y'all remember that video? I think the video did like 7,000. Should have did way more, but I think it did like 7,000 views. But in that video, I said, yo, King Von fucked them over. He fucked everybody over with not being able to separate, you know, the music from the streets. You know, he was too much of a street nigga to ever become a rapper. And he brought the street mentality into the music industry, and you can't do that. You know, you can't mix both worlds. You understand? Because I tell you, anything tied to the streets, if you try to, if you move it outside of the streets, but you still got ties to the streets, or the streets gonna sink you. You know, so to be a gangster rapper that was, you know, on a rise, on a come up, making millions of dollars, more than likely, for him to still want to be a street nigga, the street side was gonna sink the music side. The street side gonna sink the music side. We're not talking about all his homies. We talking about what Vlad did. Why people do that, y'all? Like, we're not talking about nobody else. I'm talking about what Vlad did. Regardless if his homies was doing it, we talking about what Vlad did. Vlad is actively trying to get into the case. But anyway, when I was talking about King Von, and a lot of people think that the beef that King Von had with Youngboy was about females. You know, that was the general, that's what people been saying for years. So as I was doing that video, I started to notice something. I'm like, yo, this shit wasn't about no females. This wasn't about females at all. This was about clout. King Von was clout chasing. And King Von was trying to use the fact that Youngboy had the youth. Youngboy was the gangster rapper. Youngboy had the clout. So what King Von was trying to do, he was trying to trick Youngboy into a beef, so he can have the clout now. Now, yo, I haven't heard nobody on the internet say that. Nobody. Everybody keeps saying the beef started over the female. The females got involved once things started, you know, once King Von finally tricked them into the beef. That's when the females got involved. Like, King Von tricked Youngboy into a beef because King Von wanted Youngboy's spot. And instead of King Von putting the work in, he went the clout chasing route. You know, he probably wanted to beat Youngboy up just to show the world that he's a bitch and I'm the gangster. Now, I haven't heard nobody say that except for Keep It G News. Nobody else used that fucking theory. Everybody blamed it on the females. The beef was over the women. The women just got brought into the beef afterwards, you know, because of the clout chasing. And like I said, Youngboy got tricked. So, make a long story short, Vlad brings J-Mane onto the platform. And I want y'all to listen to this. He's asking J-Mane, well, he's talking to J-Mane about Durk and how Durk was stupid for, you know, engaging in the beef because King Von crashed out. And he started talking about how Quano Rondo didn't have no real beef with King Von. King Von had beef with Youngboy. And I want y'all to listen to the reasons why he said King Von had beef with Youngboy.
Von maybe felt like the beef shit was going to get him. When Von asked for it, other people say that Quando slid in, someone, Asian Doll's DMs, although she never said that either. Might have been just general, like, okay, like Von maybe felt like the beef shit was going to get him to the next level, so he was just over whooping.
Von maybe felt like the beef shit was going to get him to the next level, so he was over. Yo, who else said that? What other platforms have y'all watched that said that? I be watching shit. Now, I don't watch everything. But I know for the longest time, the narrative was, it was over the females. All this is over the females. All this is over the females. Nobody ever mentioned, to my knowledge, that no, it wasn't over no females. It was over Von trying to use Youngboy as a stepping stool. So where's Vlad? So where did Vlad get this tape from, man? How did Vlad come to this determination? He's saying other people were saying, who's other people? Only person I know to say that is Keep It G News. Who is other people?
someone, Asian Doll's DMs, although she never said that either. Might have been just general, like, okay, like Von maybe felt like the beef shit was going to get him to the next level, so he was just over whooping. You know what I mean?
Nah,
but at the end of the day, you go and
I don't know, yo. Maybe I'm tripping, but I ain't hear nobody else say that. No. I'm not jacking J Mane because J Mane using the real issue to monetize himself instead of just getting money. He trying to attach it to a real problem. I don't respect J Mane for the same reason I don't respect Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter use police brutality to enrich themselves. Meanwhile, not focusing on police brutality. J Mane using pushing peace to enrich himself. Meanwhile, he can't push peace in Chicago. He don't got the name. He not big enough. He don't got the streets. You gotta have the streets to push peace.
100% whole grain sun chips?
And you can't say you saving the kids because the kids follow the streets. So you can't jump over the street guys and say you saving the kids when that's who the kids look up to. It just won't work. Just won't work. So I think it's pointless for him to still be pushing that when it won't work. Just get money, bro.
this is
You ain't gotta attach a real issue to it. 44K, what's up? All right, but Candace Owens sat down with Nick Cannon. And I had real respect for Nick Cannon too, man. I thought Nick Cannon was on, I thought Nick Cannon was what he said he was. But once they came down on Nick Cannon, his whole tune changed. Like, he don't need to wear the turban no more. What happened to Nick Cannon with the turban? I don't like Drake. What did my man say? I don't like Drake when he acting tough. What the fuck? I like Nick Cannon with the turban, man. I don't like him when he ain't got the turban on, man. Like Kendrick like Drake the melodies. I don't like him when he acting tough. But I want to watch this interview, yo, because I'm sure Candace Owens said some things that need to be corrected.
To be like, I don't have to go out there with my sword swinging. I can take a softer approach and still get the same message across because, like you just said, goodness is ultimately going to be the one to prevail if you truly believe that.
It's interesting because I don't find myself to be offensive.
Everybody else does.
I know. And I think the reason for that is because people don't like hearing the truth.
But I don't think there's this ultimate puppet master. I've looked for the group. I can't find that physical group.
Well, I'm telling you that the CIA is a part of a group and a global conspiracy to enslave mankind. I will not accept the conspiracy to me is to try to convince me that the times have changed, and we went from, in the Black community, producing Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston to what really Black people really want to hear right now is Sexy Red.
Session 2.
And let me say this. I agree with a lot of things Candace Owens say. I just think Candace Owens be wrong when she talk about the issues in the Black community. Like, on a lot of her other takes, man, she be spot on, in my opinion.
Fire that we started in session 1 with Candace Owens. My goal is focus on compassion. Let's lead with love. Let's go. Back again on another edition of Council Culture, a brave space, a safe place to have open dialogue. And, we feel together, we reveal together so we can heal together. That's the whole purpose. And I am joined once again by the fearless and the powerful Candace Owens. Welcome back. Our last session ended where you were speaking your truth and some evident truths that a lot of people don't want.
Yo, I hate that, yo. Yo, can we bury that into listen, yo. Yo, can we bury individual truths in 2024? Like, yo, can we leave that? Like, yo, why do people say that? Yeah, look, nobody has their own individual truth, yo. Like, it's only one truth. I think that's why the world's so confusing. Everybody think they got their own truth. Like, no, you don't. The truth don't belong to you. The truth has no what's the word? Like, yeah, right. The truth is the truth, man. The truth don't pick sides. Like, this is the truth. This is your opinion. This is your opinion. But the truth is right here. You feel me? Like, everybody don't have their own truth. Like, like that shit burns me up. Especially when you hear men say it. Like, women do what women do. But if you hear men say it, it's like, God damn, what the fuck is you talking about? You don't have no individual truth.
Here, or agree with. And I ended with a question, which I want to start with, is like, one, being so fearless, how do you function through every day? I mean, you're also a mom of 3, and I mean, even I was surprised to, even when you showed up, I was like, it's regular, it's normal, and all that's going on in the world, you know what I mean? I would expect you to be traveling with Secret Service, just because of the type of things you speak on, the people that you speak on, and you do it in such a fearless way. How do you get away with that?
Well, the first thing is, I know enough about history to know that if they want to kill you, the Secret Service ain't going to stop them. That's the first part. You know what I mean? If that was a thing, then JFK would be alive, right? If that was a thing, Trump wouldn't have gotten shot. And so it's almost to me, the security part is vanity for other people. It doesn't actually make a difference. But the second thing is, I have faith in God. I know God is real. So there is this understanding that I'm always operating with, that this is not it. And I feel sad for people that don't know that God is real, because I know that they don't believe God is real because of this intentional training that happened in the public school system. It's why your grandparents are faithful. Going back to Tucker Carlson clip where he's like, don't you think it's weird that since the dawn of humanity, everybody knew that spiritual forces were at play, goodness and evil were at play, every civilization. And then suddenly post-World War II in the West, we were like, no, God's not real. And they started training you to believe in yourself. And that gets into all types of satanic religions that want to drive you towards.
I agree with that. Like, I agree with a lot of, like, she's a very smart woman. You know, I just believe, that, you can't put your finger on the problems in the Black community by reading books. You gotta be from the community. You gotta have lived on some of these blocks. You gotta walk some of these streets. You understand? But they are pushing this mentality of, you, me, I. And it's like, nah, that shit is hurting us. That shit is hurting us as a people.
Humanism. They want that to be the ultimate faith, to place your faith in humans, to place your faith in science, and to not believe in God, like literally to not believe in God. And people, it's funny to me because they will be like, I don't believe in God, like, and they think it's a rational position to have, but these will be the same people that believe so much in government. Like, atheists are the most faithful people in the entire world. They will, like what I'm saying, hopping on one foot for COVID, trying to stay alive. They don't ask any questions, roll up their sleeve, get a vaccine. I'm like, bro, you got faith. It's just in humans, like, in the ultimate form, scientism. And they've realized that, and they know that they can control you. I mean, the stuff that you see people doing, it should make you very aware that they have faith, that there is no such thing as atheism. There's just faith in man.
Yeah, you've definitely spoken out about your, anti-scientism, and scientism being the religion of science.
I think they can.
Most people who rely and believe in science look at people who believe in God and spirituality as kooks and also slaves to, you're just going to go with these traditional rituals that have been placed in books and theories that really are based off of allegories. I'd rather go based off of scientific evidence of things that have been proven.
Yeah.
What do you say to that?
I think that they probably should know that the Enlightenment was not enlightened. It was the darkening of mankind. The Dark Ages were not dark. They were actually an age of tremendous Christian enlightenment, and all of that stuff has been intentionally buried. And they are very much focused, moving the Bible out of the classroom. It used to be taught, and They want you to believe in nothing other than what they tell you. If you think, and I'll just give you just a perfect example. My children are not vaxxed. I am anti-vax, whatever name the science people are coming up with.
Right.
And it's just stunning to me that they were able to convince people that their babies are born wrong. Like, as soon as your baby comes out, science can fix it. Like, what do you mean? My baby just came out. You're talking about, well,
Right.
they instantly need a Hep B vaccine. Wait a second, isn't hepatitis B, like, isn't that an STD? Yes, but they need this because, I'm like, this makes zero sense. You're just in the cult of science. It's stupid. The idea that God got it wrong, it's wild. And the funny thing is that the logic that they will apply to themselves for listening to science, they wouldn't even apply it to an animal. Like, if they were suddenly like, every lion that's born or every lion that's born, we have to intervene and do something, PETA would be outside tomorrow freaking out. Like, leave them naturally in their, but us, forget it. They legitimately believe that vaccines are keeping their babies alive from the second they come out. That's scientism. That's a cult, right? You are part of a cult and a religion, and you don't understand the science of it at all. If I debate, when I say people call me anti-vaxxer, I invite them on my show. They never come. The doctors, they never come. I'm like,
Yo, you think people use this? You think people use the struggle as an excuse to be entitled? Entitled to what? Like, yo, people think black people is entitled. Yo, black people got it the worst. Has had it the worst. So I don't see how where entitled come from. We always had to work to get what we wanted and get what we you know, where we trying to go in life.
I'm like, I know how you get paid. I know every child is a check for you if they go through this system and they keep it, and it's all being funded by Big Pharma. And it is my belief that all of these pollutions, again, because I know that the spirit is real, that all of it is to pull you further away from what would actually be a very natural recognition within yourself. Like, you would feel that normally, you would feel this spiritual draw, this spiritual incline. They've lied to you. COVID, you should apply that logic and know that that system of lying was easier when there was no independent media.
Oh, that whole shit was wild. And it was so wild, yo, because you couldn't even talk about the shit. Like, yo, they would literally kick you off the internet, yo, for talking about that shit. Like, I ain't never saying nothing like it. Like, for real. Y'all know my internet been acting stupid last couple of days.
Yeah, there's brainwashing. I believe we even spoke of like psychological terror.
She talked about the welfare system already? Let me go back, because I had some shit to say about that.
Harry, I will train morning, noon, and
my children are not vaxxed. I am anti-vax, whatever name the science people are coming up with.
Right.
And it's just stunning to me that they were able to convince people that their babies are born wrong. Like, as soon as your baby comes out, science can fix it. Like, what do you mean? My baby just came out. You're talking about, well, they instantly need a Hep B vaccine. Wait a second, isn't hepatitis B, like, isn't that an STD? Yes, but they need this because, I'm like, this makes zero sense. You're just in the cult of science. It's stupid. The idea that God got it wrong, it's wild. And the funny thing is that the logic that people apply to themselves for listening to science.
Yo, that shit didn't make no sense, is because if you know anything about airborne viruses, yo, once they're here to stay. Like, so it never made sense to me that you had to do this and do that. Like, that was always my drawback. Like, yo, that shit ain't going nowhere. Like, all these precautions that they trying to take is like, for what? If that was the case, we could have got rid of the flu years ago. Like, that shit wasn't going nowhere. That shit here to stay, and that's what it always, because that whole thing wasn't about that. It wasn't about that, man. That whole thing was about stealing the election, man. Like, and that's what I'm saying. If you're gonna tell the truth, tell the whole truth. She knows that. You know, anybody that know and was paying attention knew what that was about. That was about getting everybody to be in the house, making people scared to come out and vote, so they can cast their ballots through mail, and then they can do whatever they want to do, you know, with the ballots. That's what that was about. See, yo, it was so many plays being ran at that time, yo, it's ridiculous. You know, it was a lot of plays being ran at that time. Like, prime example, I wanted to point this out, and I ain't never get to it. A lot of them protests and shit that was going on, you know, the Trumpers, Yo, they wasn't, a lot of that shit wasn't what y'all thought it was, man. It wasn't that. You know, these was people that was fully funded, going into these neighborhoods and doing whatever the fuck they wanted to do. And they might scream a certain thing, and I gotta talk like this about this subject, yo, because they get on your ass for speaking about this type of shit for real. But y'all get what I'm saying. But it was confusing to people. So I said that to say that we're gonna see that now. In the next 4 years, we're gonna see a lot of these protests. I just want people to know that it ain't what you think it is. It ain't what you think it is. It ain't. See, I told we shouldn't have voted Trump in. He didn't embolden the races. No, it ain't that. That's not what we watching. We're watching some people that's planned, that's paid, and that's their assignment. That's what it was then, and that's what it's going to be in the next 4 years, because we're going to see a lot of it. I just want my people to understand what's going on, yo, so we don't fall for the same old tricks. And we don't all have it. See, yo, I don't understand what a victim is, yo. Like, what is a... See, yo, why people can't acknowledge... This my thing about the victim shit. Yeah, exactly, Pano. Why people can't acknowledge both things? Why people can't acknowledge that, yo, there's been some systems and institutions that have been put in place to hold people back. And we can still put the work in and come out of it. Well, why can't it be both? Why does it have to be? Because that's how, when they put, and I'm not saying this is you, but when people present that argument, it's like it's either one or the other. Why can't it be both? Why can't we admit that, yo, it have been some fucked up shit that held us back? And admit that, yo, we got some problems in our own community as well that we need to fix, that we can't blame nobody for. Like, why both those things can't be true? I don't believe in the victim mentality. Because we some shit didn't happen, and it wasn't all long ago. Shit been recent. What's up, Jersey?
They wouldn't even apply it to an animal. Like, if they were suddenly like, every lion that's born, or every lion that's born, we have to intervene and do something, PETA would be outside tomorrow freaking out. Like, leave them naturally in their... But us, forget it. They legitimately believe that vaccines are keeping their babies alive from the second they come out. That's scientism. That's a cult, right? You are part of a cult and a religion, and you don't understand the science of it at all. If I debate, when I say people call me anti-vaxxer, I invite them on my show. They never come. The doctors,
right about politics.
I'm like, I know how you get paid. I know every child is a check for you if they go through this system and they keep it, and it's all being funded by Big Pharma. And it is my belief that all of these pollutions, again, because I know that the spirit is real, that all of it is to pull you further away from what would actually be a very natural recognition within yourself. Like, you would feel that normally, you would feel this spiritual draw, this spiritual incline.
That like button, y'all.
To you, COVID. You should apply that logic and know that that system of lying was easier when there was no independent media.
Yeah, there's brainwashing, I believe.
It was. Yo, if y'all knew the shit that I went through, I always talk about this, but if y'all knew what I went through on Facebook, way before I came to YouTube, y'all, I was on Facebook, because I didn't start speaking for money. Like, money never even, like, I never thought about, yo, I'm going to start speaking, I can make money. It was all about, yo, we got a lot of people speaking, yo, and they got loud voices, and they ain't telling the truth. They ain't telling the truth. So when I took the opposed position of, yo, Black Lives Matter is scam, I've been telling people that shit since 2019. Since 2019, yo, I've been telling people, yo, I had beef with family members. Like, yo, that shit's a scam, yo. Like, yo, that's not what you think it is. So, you couldn't say that back then. So I upload videos, my phone to freeze. Facebook shut the app down on me. Like, yo, wild shit, and it all stopped after the election. It was crazy. But I know I wasn't geeking, because I posted this on my community where Mark Zuckerberg wrote a whole letter saying that he was pressured by the Democratic Party to silence certain people. I was one of them people, man. Still today on Instagram. That's why if y'all know somebody be posting what they do to me on Instagram. They still talking to me on that bitch. All because I wanted people to understand that we've been tricked, we've been played on. These motherfuckers that you think with us, they ain't with us. These organizations that's used to speak for us ain't speaking for us. They are financed by people that you wouldn't believe. But you couldn't say that back then. You know, they give you a hard way to go. They give you a hard way to go. They actually ended up taking my page. Gave me a whole bunch of fucked up ass strikes. Now, one day I can't go live for 24 hours. Next day I can't go live for 2 days. Then it's a week. Then it's a month. All for one video. They kept striking me for the same video. Ultimately, what happened was they said they was going to review my page. So I'm hitting these people day to day, yo, review my page. And then, because at this time, now I'm trying to build up my YouTube channel. So I'm using I had like 1,000 followers on Facebook. So I'm using my Facebook following to build my YouTube channel. So I'm like, yo, I need y'all to, what the fuck is y'all doing? Yo, 4 or 5 months go past. They never reviewed my channel. I get a message talking about your channel been disabled for too long and there's nothing we can do about it. I say, damn. Yo, it was wild, man. It was wild that they did that.
Spoke of like psychological terrorism.
It is.
That
What's up,
where
Ben?
if they're constantly trying to scare us into control, which I don't disagree
Organization.
on that, but I don't think there's this ultimate puppet master or this group of guys. I've looked for the group. I want to know who these guys are that are so rich and powerful.
The movement is
that they
organization.
pass it on to their,
So I used to hashtag BLM, the people, not the movement. That used to be one of my hashtags back in the day. BLM, the people, not the movement. The movement used black pain to push gay rights. That's what the movement did. And at the time it was so obvious to me. Because when you look at the people that was protesting, it's like, yo, that ain't us. It was too diverse. Like if we didn't ever have no movement that was that diverse, then everybody was getting involved in it. Nike, NBA, NFL, just like, yo, it was something that we ain't never seen before. And it was like, yo, that ain't real. Because nothing is new under the sun, yo. Everything that was done in the past is done in the future. So for us to have never seen something like this before, it just told me that shit wasn't real. And then look what happened afterwards. After all the hype died down, now it was Black Lives Matter stole this much money, because that's what it was designed to do. And some people took a fall. But the ones that started it, you don't even hear from them no more. What happened to the 3 girls? What happened to the 3 girls that started Black Lives Matter? Has anybody heard from them in the last couple years? It's like they just disappeared into the wind. And this would really change my perception of it. When they first started, before they changed it, you can go in their page and they tell you what the page is about. And it was about like breaking down the family structure and no more man ahead of the household. Like this is what this shit was about. And I screenshot, I probably still got it in my phone. But people was talking about it, but Facebook and these social media platforms make you take it down. But once it started getting out there, so now people going to the website, now they changed the website over. Now we don't say that no more. But if you remember when it first started, that's what it said. It was about the breaking down of the black family, the breaking down of the man of the household. So I'm like, damn, yo, they really use a real issue, like police brutality, gained all this hype around it, gained all this support. But they was pushing gay rights the whole time. And if you notice, when BLM started in 2012, those was around the same time all those laws started changing. Like Those are the only laws that changed since BLM was around. Think of how far that movement went. So basically what I'm saying is it was disguised, yo. Now I don't know if it was a real movement to begin with ever. But once it broke mainstream, I think it was transitioned into something else. So they was using BLM, but it was really the LGBTQ movement. That's what it was. But you couldn't say that. They'd boot you out the face of this earth if you say that shit online.
In their bloodline.
Not saying that there's anything wrong with that movement. What I am saying is, why lie? Why are you fooling? Why are you tricking the people? And that's my issue with J-Man. It's like, if this what you want, say that. But don't use a catchy slogan or a catchy phrase or something that really needs changing that's in the community just to rich yourself. I can't fuck with that. I can never get behind nobody that rocks like that, because why you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. Just do what you're gonna do. But that's that shortcut shit I always talk about, where nobody want to put in the real work. You know, so when you attach a catchy phrase to whatever you're doing, it gains attention. But meanwhile, you just getting rich. Taking donations. Selling cereal.
They're all keeping the darkness in the world going. I can't find that physical group.
Well, I'm telling you that the CIA is a part of a group and a global conspiracy.
Yeah. It was he got caught with a pistol. Something like that, probation violation.
The CIA, definitively.
Okay.
Definitively is a part of the small group of people that are controlling.
So
things,
and the CIA technically is bipartisan, right?
They're not bipartisan. That's the whole point. That they are not Democrat or Republican. This is like the gang. This is the gang that won. And you know what he said before he got shot in Dallas next to his wife as he was going down the street that day? JFK said he was going to scatter the CIA into 1 million pieces because it was corrupt. And then unfortunately, he was involved in an accident. And that accident was he was shot. And the person who shot him said, I didn't shoot him. That was Lee Harvey Oswald. But then before he could testify about what did not happen, he was killed by a man named Jacob Rubenstein. And that guy, believe it or not, was MK Ultra. Before he could stand trial, he was deemed insane because a doctor working for the CIA went in there and gave him a cocktail of medicine to make him crazy. Now, what's funny about this is Kanye told me years ago, because I am not a person, I have to learn things in a book. I need to order the right books. I love to read. But he said something to me, and it sounded wild when he said it to me, that they made him bipolar. I think he said that. And I don't want to misquote him, but he said something like they made me bipolar, and he was on one of his rants, and it was difficult for me to kind of discern what he meant. And I was there with him when Harley Pashnik was texting him like a totally normal trainer saying, we're going to put you back into a hospital and you'll never see your kids again. Totally normal for your gym trainer to be saying that to you. Totally normal stuff. I think he's an issue. But anyways, he had said that, and that did not make sense to me. I don't want to say it sounded crazy. It just didn't make sense to me. Then I read that book, Chaos. And
yo, I never called Kanye crazy, yo. Kanye just doesn't know how to explain himself, you know. But what they do is, yo, when you call somebody crazy now, you can dismiss everything they say. And the media does this. You know, Kanye ain't the first person they did that to. So they attach this to your name. Well, he crazy. So now whenever he speak, even though it might be the truth, it falls on deaf ears because he's crazy. What do you look like listening to a crazy person? But if you are able to distinguish or break down what Kanye West is saying, you know, because sometimes you gotta kind of like read between the lines with Joe, because he don't really know how to express himself. So if you can fill in the blanks, a lot of the shit that he say makes sense. But I ain't never called him crazy.
That guy who got the FOIA requests and declassified the documents and read the conversations between the heads of the CIA and Dr. Sidney Gottlieb. And yeah, they wrote that they could give people schizophrenia, they could give people bipolar disorder via a cocktail of medicine.
Yeah, straight up,
They can
Cargo.
literally induce mental illness via a cocktail of medicine. So this reporter who did this book, by the way, he was like not at all conspiracy theorist. He was just a writer for Premiere magazine, and his name was Tom O'Neill. He was tasked by his editor to just write a quick 30-year anniversary 30-year anniversary magazine article on the Manson murders. And he was like, oh, this is going to be so boring. I've tapped this 1,000 times. It ended up taking him 22 years.
Wow.
Because he was like, this doesn't make sense. And then FOIA request, he ended up getting fired.
Yeah, I used to believe, Jimmy, I used to believe in Nick Cannon. I used to think Nick Cannon was a guy that stood on his morals and stood on his principles. Until I noticed he got all these damn kids. He ain't married to none of these women. He not even in long-term relationships with none of these women. And contrary to what he tried to say, what the girl said on the Breakfast Club was right. Like, you can't be this righteous person, but you just having kids with all these different women, just breaking, you just you're not creating no family environment. You're just making a whole bunch of broken homes, regardless if you're taking care of them or not. How much taking care of can you do when you just one person and you got 10 kids and they all in separate houses? You can do what you do financially, but most kids, financials, they don't even think about that. It's about the time you spend. Time is everything. Time is everything. And then the situation that happened when they came down on him, and how he backtracked and apologized, and I'm like, oh no, he ain't what we thought he was. I think Nick Cannon might be one of them guys that was sick, because look where he at now. Since they allowed him to get their money again, he done switched it all up. He ain't talking that shit no more. That shit he was talking, he ain't talking it no more. So if they can make you do that, if they can make you change your tune, I'm talking about whole 180, then did you ever really stand on it? Is that really how you ever felt? Because they can't make me change nothing. Like, I stand on what I stand on, and I'm going to stand on this shit till I die. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I done been chastised on the internet, and I'm like, yo, this is who I am. This is who I am. This is what I'm going to be. It's either you take it or leave it. You feel me? So when it came down to him, I just started looking at him different. Like, the Dr. CB shit never came out. He said he would. Remember, he went all viral. The CB, it's coming out. Shit ain't came out yet. So yeah, I don't know if he's one of them guys, man. No, he wasn't wrong, and that's what made it even worse. You wasn't even wrong, bro. You made them people made you backtrack, and you wasn't wrong.
From there, book deal fell through. He dedicated 22 years of his life to investigating what the hell happened on that night that Americans were told there were these heinous murders that happened. And everything he learned was that there were operatives there that night. The judges were on the payroll, police officers, all, by the way, very much the same. And we don't need to get into this right now, but in what's been put out in that Diddy lawsuit, it's literally the same area that's happening. Like, LA's got a lot of shady stuff happening here, a lot of evil stuff happening here, a lot of satanic stuff happening here. I wouldn't want to be an enemy of the CIA and live in LA. I'll say that for free. Like, I wouldn't want to live here because I believe that they obviously do have LAPD police officers that are working for them. And a lot of the stuff that Kanye was saying that didn't make sense now makes perfect sense to me. But now I have I read this book and I've seen the files, and thankfully this journalist dedicated 22 years of his life to present to the public. You have to learn it. It's scary. You have to confront it. But don't be scared also.
Losing is losing, whether you're losing a lot or a little bit. A person little bit can mean a lot to them. So it's what the fuck is the difference? If I'm risking $100 versus $100,000 or $100 million, if that's my last $100, that's all I got.
And goodness does win. And that's where just the spirit of Christ comes in. Like, I know how this story ends. These people are evil. These people are demonic. These people are poisoning you. They are poisoning your children. They are poisoning your psychology every day. They have poisoned black music. Is also what I want to say. That was my instinct. I was like, this is not black music. Why am I hearing what sounds demonic coming out of people's mouths and what they're speaking about? And some artists have spoken out about the fact that they're being told to produce demonic music.
See, and again, I'm glad you brought that up. And the overarching, I believe either you said something like this in the past, but I know I'm paraphrasing here, that we probably believe the same thing, that ignorance, fear, and confusion is the devil's dominion in that sense. So that's where we're easily controlled, when we don't know, when we're scared, or when we're confused.
Oh, so that makes sense. That's why everybody's monetizing off of ignorance. That makes sense now. I get that. But that's fucked up though. But that's why you got all these platforms highlighting drill rappers, 15-year-olds, and everybody's capitalizing off the ignorance in people. And it ain't just ignorance in the streets. It's ignorance in people that want to understand the streets. A lot of people is being misled different ways, man. And they're doing it through ignorance.
Out of what I hear you saying is,
I don't know,
it's not rooted in what we would deem as factual, like you're an avid reader like me. Like I'll read anything and try to understand it, but it's also like, all right, well, show me the evidence, which normally is like science, of that there are people controlling us through our music. Now, as a faith, based individual and someone I truly believe in spiritual warfare, I at least for my own psyche, I can say, okay, I see what's happening in black music and hip hop. I don't think there's a secret meeting going on and I've even heard about the secret meeting. I'm like, why? I want to know who was in those meetings that they were saying, I need you to say all of the horrible things.
Yo, come on, yo. Nick can't be that fucking ignorant, yo. Come on, yo. See, this shit, like, yo, you, come on, Nick. Come on, bro. Come on, yo. Ain't no way he that ignorant. Maybe he's just doing that, for the question to get her response. But ain't no way he that motherfucking ignorant. Yo, it's a stark difference between how hip hop started versus how hip hop is going. I'm talking about, and it all goes in sync. I did a video on it. Check it out.
About black men and black women. I need you to put, satanic influences into songs and signs and symbolism. Like, to me, that is an energy that, or a spirit that can come upon people to make you want to do that, especially based off of their circumstances. If all I know is pain, strife, anger, hate, I'm going to now, put that back out or regurgitate that to my own community. And that in itself is a cycle of darkness and low frequency that we can be removed from. But to say that there's like these secret people coming in and telling us,
I don't think they're secret. I don't think they're secret at all. And there have been multiple artists that have spoken out and said that producers have encouraged them to.
But yeah, that's an
individual. But is that not to
believe them? That's an individual. So
sure.
Because like I said, I can find the devil, and I can find the devil in gospel music if I wanted to. But I can also say I can find the.
Yo, Nick can't find stupid. It's not just that, yo. It's it's one thing. It's one thing when you coming up in that environment, and that's all you know. It's another thing once you make it out that environment, and that's all you rap. You understand what I'm saying? You seen the world now. You know it's more things out here than just the streets. But that's all you rap. And then there's another thing too, when there's other rappers that don't focus on, the negativity and the ignorance in the community. And those guys don't get the marketing dollars put behind them for them to be successful artists. So why Nick Cannon sitting up here playing stupid like he don't know what the fuck going on? Like he trying to take it somewhere else, and I don't think that's what she talking about. She ain't talking about no demonic symbols. No, she talking about a group of people that got money in another industry, and they're using the hip hop industry to fund the other industry, and it's proven. Like it's not a secret. It's not a secret. When remember young boy said he was ready to stop rapping this way. How long did that last? That shit might have lasted for 2 months, maybe a month and a half, maybe 3 days. But he put out one album, the bitch, and I don't know what it did. But I know his next 7 albums after that, he was back on gangster shit, back on Demon Time, back on killing and drilling. Like, yo, come on, Nick, stop playing fucking stupid. So that's why I can't get behind yo, man. And I used to fuck with yo heavy. Like, I thought he was one of them ones, but nope.
The good in every aspect, whether it's Hollywood or not. Like, there's multiple things where if we even understand what entertainment was designed for, it ultimately is to relieve us of the stresses that everyday life brings upon us.
Right.
So again, you operate each and every day in a space of like, look, I'm on the front lines and I'm literally trying to help people understand and get clarity and hear the truth. But when that becomes confusing or it becomes rhetoric, and now I just see people with great brilliance just arguing back and forth about things that ultimately are not creating any gain for either one of the individuals, except for maybe ego to say, I was right or I read this. Like, knowing your position and knowing what you can offer to the world, how do you differentiate between like...
He just said sell out. He just basically said, let me know if I'm tripping, but he just basically said the same thing that Steve Harvey said to Monique. Remember, Steve? You can't say them people. You feel me? You can't say them people. All you can do is get money and say fuck them. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm tripping, but that's what I heard, yo. That's what I heard. That's what he just said. Let me play it back. Maybe y'all ain't hear it. He just said it in long form. That's what he said.
Trying to help people understand and get clarity and hear the truth. But when that becomes confusing or it becomes rhetoric, and now I just see people with great
the fuck happened to the Valiant?
Just arguing back and forth about things that ultimately are not creating any gain for...
Ultimately not creating any gain.
Either one of the individuals.
For either one of the individuals.
Ego to say, I was right.
Except for ego.
Like, knowing your position and knowing what you can offer to the world, how do you differentiate between like, all right, I'm gonna just go ahead and I'm gonna do nothing but speak, against,
So that's basically what that's what they told Nick. Look, Nick, you can't say these motherfucking people. Like, I know you trying to be the savior, and I know you care about your community, and I know you want to speak truth to power, but look, we running a business. If you want to be a part of this business, then you need to back the fuck up out of that shit. You feel me? That's what it sounded like he just said to her, man. Yeah, I had to put Nightbot ass on time out. He be geeking, yo. He get Nightbot getting the comments. He don't know how to act. The fuck, I just how he still doing that to people? Yeah, that level up. So you got it, cause that's what the fuck that sound like to me. I'm just making sure I ain't tripping.
Community, or I'm gonna speak against Black Lives Matter, or whatever at the moment where you can say clearly you're brilliant enough to be like, I don't have to go out there with my sword swinging. I can take a softer approach. I can accept. I can love everyone, give everyone an opportunity. Still get
I can accept
the same message across, because like
I see all that. So he conformed, man. Which one, E-Bang? Who, Sammy V? Oh, Nightbot. No, Nightbot is Nightbot. He said, that's what I'm a man. No, the fuck I ain't. Y'all can't sell. Imagine me selling out, yo. Like I can't. Yo, I talk too heavy to sell out. I would literally lose everybody that support me in real life and on the internet if I was to sell out. Y'all from Baltimore, bro. Like, I think that's why Baltimore don't get a fair shake. That's why you don't see a whole bunch of Baltimore people in the industry, because yo, we don't sell out. It happens, you know. There are some sellouts, but yo, we don't at a large rate. Man, fuck no. Look at Monique. Remember what Monique did? Called out the biggest people in the industry. It's a Baltimorean, man. Like yo, that's what we are, yo. But we stand on principle. We stand on principle, and we're gonna die on that motherfucker. Like that's just what it is.
Like you just said, goodness is ultimately going to be the one to prevail if you truly believe that.
Yeah, well, goodness prevails when good speaks out. We can't just sit back and do
Yeah,
nothing
we don't
when we see it.
compromise
We have
our
to call it
morals,
like
man.
we see it.
You're going to be like Peter and just go cut everybody's ear off.
Yeah, I'm not even.
But Jesus was like, Peter, fall back. Give my man his ear because he needs to hear this process.
I think it's interesting because I don't find myself to be offensive.
That's why you never. That's why I always say you never get in bed with them people. You never get in bed with them people. Yeah, it's easier that way, you know. But that's why I always talking about when you align yourself with them people, yo, they control your money. So the same way they made you, they can break you. So I might go the long route. You understand what I'm saying? But I can sleep comfortable at night. You know, a lot of these people, y'all, and I always say this, yo, a lot of these people that's getting a whole bunch of money, they're not happy. They got all the money in the world. That's why I always talk about the suicide rate in the rich. The suicide rate in the rich is way higher than it is in the poor. Because these companies and these corporations are paid you to be who they want you to be instead of who you are. And you can't live your life daily, yearly, and be happy being somebody that you know you're not. Like, I'd rather be myself and go the long and go and just, you know, I take the steps. I can easily get on the elevator and start selling out and start running plays and start saying wild dumbass shit out my mouth like Brick Baby, and the shit that go viral. I be shared all over Instagram, yo. But who the fuck is that? That ain't me. That's some old other nigga that the internet created. Like, nah, fuck that. I'm good.
I just think
everybody else does.
I know. That is correct, and I think the reason for that is because people don't like
big
hearing
little funny
the truth.
Shit.
And I think it's because they know it's the truth deep down, and they have like a visceral response.
And I would agree with you. I would definitely agree with you until we start jumping into these spaces that sound very conspiracy theory. I used to be that guy. I was that guy that was like, they're trying to tear us down.
Look.
And then to your point, which you often speak
happened,
of,
Nick?
that becomes a...
What happened? What changed you from being that guy? I want inquiring minds want to know. What happened?
Victim-like mentality. So my message started to often being like, yes, the world's fucked up. Yes, there's so many in this.
Damn, yo, they got him. I knew it was a change in that boy, man. I knew it was a change in that boy. He talking about victim mentality. The fuck is that? Like, yo, what is that, yo? Yo, black people come from some of the harshest beginnings and still make millions. Still run Fortune 500 companies. Like, still, I mean, maybe not Fortune 500, but still get to a level of success that previous generations have never reached. So why, that's what I'm saying, why it can't be both? Why if you acknowledging that, it's some fucked up shit going on in our community. Like, they treating us real bad. They wipe the neighborhood of resources. It's like, when people say victim mentality, it's like, it's like nobody gave up. You think people gave up? Like, yo, people still going to work day to day. People still doing their little side. Like, nobody gave up. As I'm talking about, as a community, as a whole. So why is it that when you acknowledge that some of these injustices that happen, or some of these economic problems that was placed on the community, why you can't acknowledge that and still strive for greatness? Why does it, if you acknowledge that, oh, you being a victim? Yo, that's dismissive, yo, to what really happened and what's really going on. Yo, it was some fucked up shit really done to the black community. Specifically, intentionally. It's not a victim. That's facts. But somebody sold Nick Cannon on this dumbass shit, which leads me to believe that his heart wasn't never really in it. He was doing that shit to monetize. Yeah, Big Lord, I believe you.
More enemies than we know, but I know the God within me and the God that I serve is gonna have them all fall into my feet when I walk into the room, because I know the energy that I possess.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not, yo. Yo, I always say this, yo, and this with me and DC Bloodline always collide. Always give this analogy. Yo, Cargo, man, you can be next door neighbors, yo. We can be next door neighbors. We could have grew up in the same hood, went from school from pre-K to 12th grade together. And I go to prison when we turn 19 and you go to fucking college. How does that happen? Because maybe, all right, we both only got our mother. My father on drugs, he don't come around. Your father in prison. He got life in prison. Right? Now, during a summer break, or shit, and it gotta be a summer break, you might got good grandparents. I don't. All I got is what's in this house. And you know what's in this house is fucked up. Because what's in your house fucked up. But you got an outlet. You got more resources. So when you go to college, you be like, damn, my man Keep It G went to prison. That's crazy. Yeah, we grew up the same way. But you didn't factor in that, yo, I had good grandparents. I had an uncle, that taught me a trade. Like, yo, it's those little differences that separate things. So I can't never say just because I did it, you can do it. Or, yo, we got an example of this person, he came from the worst of the worst. And now he up there. No, yo, you can't say that, man. You can't say that. Because you don't know. He might have had something. Somebody gave him an opportunity along the way. Changed his life. Opportunity that person ain't give me. It's that simple, yo. It's that simple. Hit that like button, y'all. Why only got 38 likes?
So therefore, I don't have to come in guns blazing. Because if we know the truth, and we know ultimately that goodness will prevail, then why can't I lead with love and cut them off with compassion?
Well, I just don't think it's guns a-blazing to say, only women can give birth. And that's what I'll say, and people will lose their minds. Like that, I will
but
be
you'll
like,
say that in a setting of people who can't give birth.
But my point is just that it's just the truth. I'm not even here I'm not showing up where people are at and in their faces. They just don't know how to accept my audacity to just keep saying the truth. That is what, because I've thought about this. What is it about me that people are so triggered by?
If I go to prison, try and get the bag.
And it's my audacity. Right. Because we live in a world where people will bend to the spirit of evil. They will bend to the spirit of nonsense.
They know, bro.
They will allow.
If YouTube don't work, as knowledgeable as I am, if YouTube don't work, I fuck around, be right back doing what I know. You understand what I'm saying? What I know is drugs. Yo, when shit get tough, yo, people go back to what they know. You understand what I'm saying? So if you got a trade, and say you venture off to do something else. When that something else don't work, you're gonna go back to what you know. You know you got to trade. You know how to fix cars. You know how to, carpentry. You know how to build things. You understand? All I know is the streets. So no matter how far I go, it's always a strong possibility that, if shit don't work, I'm back outside. Because I know the streets. I know I can get a couple grams and a couple ounces, and I know how to make that shit work, because that's what I've been doing, the bulk of my life. That's all it is, man. Straight up, you're going to have those situations, Like when I first came home, I came home on work release. I was working at this job called Bel Air Produce. Worked at Bel Air Produce from prison to home, maybe 3 years. So, y'all know I got murder on my record. So once I lost the Bel Air Produce job, so of course I got some stomach issues. I call pancreatitis, whole another situation. But I lost the job with Bel Air Produce. I know, yo, but that's what I know, bro. I lost the job with Bel Air Produce, and I couldn't find another job. Now I didn't never want to go. I never wanted to hustle. In my mind, I was past that. Yo, so I got unemployment for a certain amount of time. Maybe 18 months, I think. So in this 18 months, I'm trying to find a job, but nobody's hiring. You feel me? I can't find a job. I got a murder on my record. Everybody shoot me down. First degree murder charge. This the part they didn't tell me about when I took this plea deal. You understand? They didn't tell me that taking this plea deal was going to be a life sentence either way. You feel me? So what the fuck do? I don't know nothing else. I don't know how to fix no cars. I ain't no HVAC technician. I ain't no electrician. Yup. So I flipped my unemployment check. That's exactly what the fuck I did. I know pounds of bud. I know pounds of bud. I done sold a lot. I know them. Man, I got 4 more months. It's time to start making moves. Fuck it, I can't find a job. Before you know it, I'm 10 years in hustling again. Go from weed, coke, dope, this. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's just reality, yo. Like when times get hard, yo, people go back to what they know. They go back to what they know, yo. And a lot of times in our community, what a lot of people know is the streets. Because they right there. It's always there. It's right outside your window. It's your friends. It's your associates. It's your acquaintances. It's right there.
Every part of their reason to be stripped away so that they can fit in. And again, this gets into, and this is not conspiracy. In fact, we should stop using the word conspiracy theorist, because we know that was a CIA term that they entered into the lexicon following the shooting of JFK. So they say the word conspiracy theory. That's
the theory is the only thing that's the problem. The conspiracy to conspire is not an issue.
Yeah, but that is the truth, and that is why we should just call it out when we see it. This is what's happening. These people are conspiring.
That's a victim mentality.
Look at to see when they met in the past, and this is what's happening now.
I can agree. I would call that stupid, though. But yeah, that is a victim mentality right there.
I've been told to report something demonic, or I had a conversation with Amber Rose.
And motherfuckers do that, though, Cargo.
A couple of weeks ago, and it was a lot of her telling me that she was basically just being pushed by people that you need to be more sexual, I accept that obviously at a certain point, and this gets into why you were saying why I won't bend for money, I wouldn't do it. I'm built different, But I also acknowledge that these people are being pushed in a certain direction. Women, you're being told, can you make it sexier? I will not accept. The conspiracy to me is to try to convince me that the times have changed, and we went from, in the Black community, producing Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston to what really Black people really want to hear right now is Sexy Red. And so that's the reason why these record labels are going to Sexy Red and offering her a deal. I refuse to believe that.
I don't believe that either.
So yes, power is held by these labels when they go out. And
I don't believe that either. Yo, because I did videos. I know for a fact, based off the videos I've done, and I say this a lot, yo, they can make me the biggest blogger tomorrow. tomorrow you will wake up and I'm on Vlad TV. I'm on Breakfast Club. I'm on what's the other shit? Ebro in the morning. I'm out there in Cali or motherfucking Big Boy Radio. Because it's not about putting in work. They can make you whatever they want you to be. So I refuse to believe that too. Like I refuse to believe that people want to listen to Sexy Red. Sexy Red is people motherfucking artists of choice. I don't believe that either. Cause I know that they can force feed you that motherfucker. They can make this person seem so appealing that it's damn near impossible to go around them. Next thing you know, you went from couldn't stand this motherfucker to now you in this bitch tapping your feet and bobbing your head. Like that, she ain't that bad. But the only reason she ain't that bad is because she been on the radio. You had a 2-hour drive and she came on 15 times. Straight up. Right, Ball. I didn't even see you say that. Exactly. That's how they do. They force feed them to you.
And I don't mean that as any disrespect to her. What I am saying is that frequencies are real.
Yes,
Okay?
exactly.
Frequencies impact your spirit. You and I know that.
There's been brothels and strip clubs and stuff since the oldest
But I'm
profession
talking
is
about music.
so,
right?
okay, and like you said,
and then I'm talking, yes, and you are correct. But Confucius said, listen to the music,
and you'll be able to know the
and there's a reason for that.
Society.
He knew this. This Chinese philosopher knew this back when, and this people who, in my viewpoint, have a lot of power in the music industry also understand that. There is no reason to fight to put filth on the airways and then try to convince people that it's free speech.
Because it's
in fact,
profitable.
I will tell you a non-conspiracy that you can look up right now, and I'm going to blank on his name.
How you going to say that, Nick, and you act
but
like
there
you
is
don't
a
know what the fuck
guy,
going on?
and if I grab my phone, I'll be able to look it up for you. Literally on his Wikipedia page, he literally says, we created pornography, because I believe the eyes and the ears are the window to the soul, to crush Christianity. He said in an open statement, this is why we created pornography. This is why we and this was back in the 70s. He was the person that brought hardcore porn to the scene. He was like, this is the reason why, to crush Christianity. He said this openly.
Dang.
So it's not a conspiracy when a person is telling you why they control the pornography industry and what they're trying to do. And pornography impacts spirit. Okay?
Pornography
it is making
spirit.
People want more demented and more deranged. They don't even know what healthy sex is. All of this is not by accident. So when they outwardly tell you what they're doing, and I'm going to get his name for you because I want to make sure people can look this up.
It'll be in the comments.
On his Wikipedia, where he literally said that. This is why we control the pornography industry, to crush Christ. We hate Catholics and we hate Christianity. Now you say today, is that a conspiracy? If I quote him, and I'm gonna have to get his name because otherwise people are gonna be like, what is his name? What's his name? And I'll pin it whenever you put this episode out. Yeah. But I thought there's no way this person. Sure enough, he said it. I'll tell you who he is. He was the founder of Screw Magazine.
Right. I mean, and that sounds logical. Like to me, that's not as far fetched as there's the
conspiracy is against Christ. That's my belief. I believe, and that's why I say you have to start with understanding that there is a conspiracy. Okay, but it's not a conspiracy theory. There is a conspiracy, and it is a conspiracy against Christ. Okay, which is why I say, how is Hollywood? How is it plausible that it is a literal inversion of the Bible? They don't agree with one point. Not even one point of the Bible. We can't even say women and men are different anymore. Like, can we agree on one point? They're like, no, we have to take the Bible and say everything about it is wrong.
But can we zoom?
Appreciate
out just a little bit, and just even to your point, if there's a conspiracy.
If y'all want to support the platform, damn, appreciate it, Vic. See to my man Vic, man, for the $25 cash app. If y'all want to support the platform, yo, cash app Baltimore swag, yo. The super chats, yo, they take 50% of the motherfuckers. Like YouTube be out of control. Like, how the fuck do they take 50% of your super chat? Like, whatever y'all send, they take half of it. Like, god damn.
Your spiritual beliefs of like,
yeah, appreciate it, bro.
This is
straight up
the right way to live your life, the good way,
the way, the truth, and the light.
The truth and the life. There's a balance in that sense of like there's good and evil. So in that, why can't we just say, because all you're talking spirituality, you're not talking individualism. You're not saying that this individual is looking to, or even like the man that you just described, he was saying he had such a vitriol response to organized religion or whatever, Catholicism, that he was saying, I'm going to do something in this space to therefore try to tear that down, which we know he can't tear it down because it's the ultimate power. It's the truth, the way, and the light. So we can point fingers at that individual, but you can't say that he's the one ultimately controlling all things evil just because he's the one that spoke out against
No, but I was just saying that if I had
he's
not
not doing it on his own.
this is one of the founders of pornography in America. So, because how do we get to this? How do we start from everyone's going to church, families are together, to now OnlyFans, right? Pornography was introduced into the American psyche for a reason, and it is in a war against your spirit. It is meant to disrupt your relationships. It's meant to pollute the idea of monogamy. It is a weapon. I want to be very clear.
I never thought about that like this, y'all. That's a good. I ain't never look at it that way. That's serious though.
I'm gonna have you look up Sav, founder of Screw Magazine, Al Goldstein. Go to his Wikipedia page. You'll find the direct quote of what Al Goldstein said. I actually want you to find the direct quote of what Al Goldstein said about Christianity. Now, if I had said it and wasn't Al Goldstein, I'd be called a conspiracy theorist, right? This is one of the weapons. Pornography is one of the weapons that is being used against Christ. And people today, you have to go all the way back, and you go, now people go, oh, it's about First Amendment. This is not about the First Amendment, okay? Watching people essentially, what I would say is act out a demonic fetish is not, okay, they understand that it's real, but they're going to tell you that this is just free speech. No, you are watching
liberation.
This is not liberation. This is enslavement. You are watching rituals. Demons are jumping inside of you when you watch this stuff. Now, I wouldn't have said this when I was in high school, because I learned in high school, in health class, in sex ed, that it's healthy to watch a little bit of porn. Do you not see a conspiracy in that?
It's healthy to know what's going on.
No, it's not, because that's not what's going on. They're setting your tastes. That's what I'm saying. These are the taste makers. They are setting your tastes. This is not normal, and it's getting more and more deranged. So when you see this explosion of men that are homosexual, my husband has a theory that all pornography is homosexual porn because men are watching other men have sex with other women. But anyways, the point is that it's inspiring people to want more and more deranged, demented things. They pursue that. It is a demon that possesses you. And what they do is they very slowly introduced more demonic things. So it used to be, it's just pornography, a woman and a man having sex. At least it's a woman and a man having sex. Then it became like, it's going to be gay. Then it became, now it's going to be trans. Then it came, oh, she's going to dress up like she's 14 years old. And that is introducing to the palate.
She got a point. She got a point about that. But that's how they always do everything. Yo, that's why I be saying things like, certain doors don't need to be open. Like this door that be opening now with the charging juveniles. Yo, that shit gonna get bad, man. I'm telling you, they're gonna be locking up 8-year-olds in the next 15 years. Like, yo, certain doors.
If you're a YouTuber and you want to save hours managing your library, you need to, buddy.
Certain doors are better left closed. Even if it's a problem. Like, you know, like when they introduced the 3 Strikes Act or the 3 Strikes Law, whatever you want to call it. It was a problem back then. We had a crime problem. It was right off the heels of the crack epidemic. We had a problem. And people wanted it solved. But 3 strikes and you out wasn't the way to do it. Because that opened up a whole door of people going to prison for stealing chips because it was the 3rd time they got convicted of a crime. Like, yo, it just was, certain doors just don't need to be open, yo. And I think as a community, as a people, we need to understand that. Like, even if you see an issue, we got to start looking at the adverse effects of these solutions that they supposed to be, you know, they call them solutions. But they really just be digging us in deeper holes, you know, creating even more problems. You know, we transition one problem to, you know, to another one. Like patchwork. I'm fine.
Asian?
Yeah, Florida ain't no joke.
The reason that Jews are in pornography is establishing that Christ sucks.
Direct quotes.
But that's
direct
a
quote. So,
There's a lot of really wild quotes.
I know,
again,
but
so
he's
you-
one of the founders, the earliest people that brought hardcore pornography to America. So it's like, to me, it's so patronizing when people are like, it's a conspiracy, when he can just outwardly say what he was doing. He told you what he was doing. And listen,
And no way we
again,
should be still under
he's
them
one person.
same.
Now, I think
that
we're
same
saying
that's all I was saying. It's
constitution.
just one person of him or
Everything
bring up
changed
him
except for
or
Constitution.
Margaret Sanger or whoever,
how the
the
fuck that work?
individuals that can have took something and demonized it.
But they brought it. It wasn't demonized. It is demonic. They brought. They,
What did he just say? What did he just say? Y'all know, I believe, how you start is how you finish. If something was started for this particular reason, if this was the thought process going into this situation, then I don't give a fuck how you transition it. That's what it's about. You can't change it 20 years down the line like they did with abortions and shit. Like, that shit was population control when they thought of it. It's population control now. You understand what I'm saying?
Can have took something and demonized it.
but they brought it. It wasn't demonized. It is demonic. They brought something that was demonic to American culture that did not exist before it, with a very clear understanding of why he was bringing it.
Let's
then they fought to get laws passed to allow pornography.
What's that law,
more
Bob?
freedom than it's ever reigned. So it's like you can't ignore these steps.
So let's
and then
thread this
say,
thing, because I need to make this clear, because my ultimate thing where I was strongly disagreeing with you is that we were saying that there's this ultimate group of individuals, like whatever dude's name was, that are saying, oh, we're all conspiring together to bring evil to the world and to fight against Christ. Now, if there's just one sick
it's not one sick individual. It's there's
and
a
they're
group.
all of it. They all in a group.
Come on, why are you playing stupid? Yo, you think he did? You think he did that on his own? Like, yo, why is he sitting here playing dumb, yo? Maybe he was dumb the whole time. Like, so if that's what he said, yo, this not just like he had conversations about this. Like, this was pre-planned. This was the motive behind the mayhem. Man, straight up. You already know. See to the home team.
Together, they're like they. I believe, and this is after I did an episode on this, which people should watch, about the origins of NASA. Satanic, literal satanic art. Okay, so you can't sit here and ignore the fact that literal Satanists, and I believe that it was this group of people. The religion
I don't
was
know why
called
he
the
acting like that,
Satanic.
yo.
Aleister Crowley is a name that people are familiar with. They established NASA. They were saying satanic chants every time they were lighting a rocket in the desert over here in California, in Pasadena, or actually Devil's Canyon. And they were open about the fact that they were having demonic sexual rituals, believe that they had summoned demons. This is not a conspiracy. This is on Wikipedia too. Look it up. Look up Jack Parsons and what he contributed to NASA. What is NASA? Nobody knows. It's a conspiracy to say, that we didn't go to the moon. Okay, well, we didn't. Okay, it was a psychological operation so that they could just kick trillions and trillions of dollars and nobody knows where it's going. It's a black op.
So when someone is watching this,
Black
obviously
budget.
the people in the comments, they're gonna be like, yo, she's crazy.
They're not actually, because I think people are now awake to this. Look it up yourself.
There's some people that are gonna agree.
No, I'm telling
People
you,
are
you can look
smarter
up
now.
Go watch my episode on the satanic origins of NASA. It's not a conspiracy. Openly, Jack Parsons was considered the protege of Aleister Crowley. These were literal Satanists, right? He wrote an entire book. They believed they had summoned demons. He was trying to get a woman who was a virgin pregnant via satanic rituals that were happening out here in California.
Damn.
He wrote to Aleister Crowley that he was going to produce a moon child, as he called it. This is on Wikipedia. I'm not like Reddit threading you guys here. You can look this up. Jack Parsons, he did this, and then he said he was successful, that he got this woman pregnant, and he called it his moon child. They were having these sexual rituals right out here in Los Angeles, in Pasadena, and they were getting caught when the police would come over. They were being funded by universities. They were being funded by the government. The government gave him a deal to be able to do this. So again, the Gutenberg family, family also funded him in his experiments, and he was openly a Satanist. So I'm not saying stuff because I want you to become a conspiracy theorist. I'm saying stuff because I want you to at least begin doing some surface Wikipedia searches, because we are not going to win if you're too afraid to call these things what they are, which is satanic. We're fighting a spiritual battle. The conspiracy is against Christ.
So I'll go here a little further, because when we speak of spiritual warfare, we know that to be real, but people come from different walks of life and have different beliefs on where the spirits enter and what's demonic, what's satanic, what's not. You know, even based off of all of the 40,000 different denominations of Christianity, there's certain things that we believe we can do that we can't do based off of our traditions and how we're picked up. But in ultimate, when we're in this current day and age, and we're sitting here and we're in cancel culture, and like I said, I was saying, like, there's gonna be some people that are like, oh, she's crazy, but then there's gonna be some people who are like, yo,
Wikipedia.
What's the difference, bro? I don't know.
We're scared of
that.
her. She's saying things that we have to silence her.
Mm-hmm.
Volunteer firefighting is a unique service activity and a great way to...
This video should have done way more views than it did. I only think this shit crossed 100,000.
Because you were canceled.
I was canceled. And like in a very similar thing. That's kind of what I was gonna bring up based off.
No, you wasn't. That's why he put his hand on his mouth.
What I learned. You know what I mean?
Did you learn, or were you like Kyrie Irving, 6 steps back to your life type thing?
Nah, because to this day, I leaned into everything I said, from whether sitting with, Minister Farrakhan, who told me that if there's something that I said that wasn't true, do away with it. But if it's truth, continue to speak truth to power. And in that sense, I have a podcast with, the CEO of the ADL, and Jonathan and I have difficult conversations and go back and forth, because it's like, if I believe something to be true and it's my truth, I don't care who hears it. Now, and to your point, and because it happened to you as well, where someone can take, we're sitting here in this, because it's probably gonna happen with this interview.
With me.
We're sitting here and we're saying things in the goal to counsel people, but someone would take a clip and say you said this or said this, like they're gonna be, you called a certain group of people satanic, and
they literally said, like, I'm
not just talking about what's gonna happen.
And by the way, I like calling them satanic because it's not Christianity, it's not Judaism, it's not Islam. Okay, that's important. They're hiding within all of these religions, and they get people to react. So it's like, this dude obviously is not a follower of the Torah, right? He happens to be Jewish, but he's obviously not a follower of the Torah. No, look, a follower of the Torah would not be saying what he's saying. Jack Parsons, I believe, on paper, his parents were Christian, right? But he's not representative of the Christian community. He worships Satan. I mean, he worshipped Aleister Crowley's religion, which was known as the Lima.
So to get back to what I was kind of zoning in on, and when we have every right intention to spread truth, to put, hopefully, I don't want to get on a high horse, or like to save, people from damnation or being influenced by Satan and demons.
What I tell you, when I just say that, he had that talk. He said, man, Nick, you can't save them people, Nick. Can't save them people. Fuck them. Make money off of them. Because that's what they do with the ignorant. The ignorant is consumers, You make money on them motherfuckers. That's what they're there for. They're there. The ignorant is there to make us rich. That's why you see so much nonsense on social media right now, man. Motherfuckers, a person will allow you to call them a rat. They will allow it. I can make money off the shit. They will allow some of the wildest narratives to get pushed on them just so they can make money. And it's fucked up. It's disgusting, but that's the world we're living in. And I think at one point Nick Cannon was against it, until that system came crashing down on him, and now it was like, man, fuck it, I'm with you. Fuck them ignorant motherfuckers. We can't do shit for them. I'm gonna make all the money I can, and I just can't get behind that, yo. I can't, yo. I can't watch people be played on and preyed on, yo, and just sit back and say nothing, yo. Like, I can't do it.
But our own rhetoric is used against us to call us hateful, to say that we're anti-Semitic, or to say that we're self-hating, or we've been broken, and all of the things, Uncle Tom's, where ultimately, like, and we said this in our last session, and I say this here, where I don't see in our exchange of energy and even discourse, I don't see someone hateful. I don't see someone with an agenda to whatever they think your agenda is. I see someone who's really trying to help and educate people, someone who's brilliant and wants everyone else to read what she's read, knows what she knows. But like me, like you, when you can say something that offends someone and someone's emotions get involved, then that then becomes the story. That becomes the attack on Candace Owens, opposed to your ultimate mission where you were really just trying to help people. So what I learned through the process is, and it's funny, as a father, I learned this and deal with this with my son, is like when you start throwing rocks and someone gets hit by a rock that you weren't intending to hit with that rock, you still got to apologize. You still have to understand the power.
Hey, get the fuck out of here, Nick. Man, he sound fucking stupid. Yo, if you say something and you right, like, yo, he wasn't wrong about what he said. Yo, I'm not apologizing if I'm right. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I take full accountability. I'm sorry about anybody I hurt. But if I'm right, and this can be proven, this is facts, this is factual information. I don't give a fuck if you get hurt or not. Yo, the truth don't have feelings, man. The truth don't have feelings, yo. The truth don't pick a side. The truth is what it is. It's the truth. So if the truth hurts you, that's something you got to deal with. Whatever you got internally that affects that the truth affects you in a way that now you can't take you. That's a personal problem. Fix it. I'm not going to then apologize, yo, because you don't do some research. If you think I'm lying, do some research. Because this is where I got this from. This is what's backing up my theory. Man, they broke Nick Cannon. They broke Shorty.
In which you have, your voice is so strong, the words, the knowledge that you have, that if you, not even if you say it wrong, if you say it correctly, they're gonna dice it up and use it for evil. And in that sense, if you want to continue the mission of good, if you want to continue the mission of God, you have to you got to rise to a higher frequency and say, you know what, I apologize that I hurt you. And
see, I can't do that. If I told the truth and you got hurt by it, I can't apologize.
Why?
Because you're not supposed to.
Stopping the goodness in me.
Because then I would be lying.
Exactly.
I am never sorry when I tell someone the truth.
Yeah.
I'm never sorry when I tell someone the truth. No.
You're a mother.
I'm a mother, yeah. And
you know your children.
Man, it can tripping.
We're not dealing with children. That's the problem. We're dealing with adults. Yeah. So the idea of me apologizing, because, and this is funny because I was texting earlier with Ray J. He saw a clip of me and Don Lemon, and he was saying,
that's an hilarious clip. Just use texting with Ray J.
And Don Lemon was looking for an apology. Oh, this clip. Oh. And Don Lemon was looking for an apology, but Ray J, I guess, was saying that he knew some trans women, and I'm like,
he has a whole trans network,
and it's just whatever he's doing there.
Yeah, you got a whole trans network.
Is demonic. It's demonic. It's because it's a lie. Okay, and so I was like, yes, let's have a conversation. Of course, respectfully. If you say to me you should respect people, I always respect people. I would disrespect you if I lied to you. I'm not going to call a man a woman. I'm not going to call a woman a man. I'm not going to say sorry for telling the truth.
Your beliefs.
No, it's
not
not.
My belief. A woman cannot be a man. A man cannot be a woman. It's not a belief.
But I'm saying,
it's facts.
Your perception of the world is different from someone else's, because just
yo, that's that dumb shit, yo. That's that individual truth shit, yo. You don't have any individual truth, Nick Cannon. Y'all can't believe he sound like that. What the fuck happened to this boy? God damn, what the fuck happened to Nick? Yo, somebody need to put that turban back on him, man. Like, I don't know what the fuck this man and lost it. Look like I Jerry curl or something like it. Yo, he tripping. Y'all did not expect to see this. I actually thought I was going to do more disagreeing. I need to change the title. The fuck, Candace Owens know exactly what the fuck she's talking about. I need to change the title of this bitch because god damn, Nick, the fuck is you talking about? Hey, yo, tripping. I thought he was solid. I thought he was a man that stood on integrity and morals and principles. I thought he stood on truth. Now he don't. He industrialized. I mean, he a part of the problem now. Come on, Nightbot. He a part of the problem now. Yo, it's either you're a part of the problem, you're a part of the solution. Like, ain't really no in between on that.
That you believe what you just said. There's someone that believes emphatically the opposite.
Okay, so
And they're wrong.
What you're talking about is the idea that everything can be subjective and there's no such thing as truth. And
Yep.
let me tell you why that. Let me.
That is what you're saying. That is what you're saying.
No, because we're either talking about feelings or facts.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I believe there is objective truth. Okay.
Okay.
A person that is born a man, okay, a person that is born with a penis, as we call it, okay, cannot ever grow up and give birth.
Really funny as shit.
Get the right care
I do know, yo.
right away. Because life.
I need to change that to the title. Candace Owens know exactly what the fuck she talking about. I need to change that to the title, yo. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so there is such thing as an objective truth. I will not apologize for sharing objective truth. I'm not going to apologize for not saying because his feelings are hurt and you see how I feel. Because
she'd be wrong.
So you have
Should be
no
wrong
problem
then.
going throughout the world hurting people's feelings.
I have no problem going out the world. That's
Telling
why
the
we
truth.
pitch it. Telling people the truth so they can better their
Facts.
lives. So they can live in reality.
Facts.
And not the one,
But
not
what
the
if,
fantasy
but
land that
what
they're
if
creating for
someone
their lives.
believes that is a better life for them?
Okay, well, let's
They
play
can-
your way
they
then.
can believe that.
Let's do it the other way. There are a group of people who are now referring to themselves as minor attracted people.
What the fuck is that?
Hey, but that's what they believe. They believe that they are in
Use
love
the
and want
same argument
and want
on
to
people.
have sex with children. They believe that,
Oh,
Nick.
shit.
They believe it. And are you going to apologize when you call them pedophiles? Are you going to apologize, Nick? Are you going to have them
Yo.
on your podcast?
It's a hell of a
Don't you
point.
understand how they
Yo, I never heard that term. Yo, that is that's wild as a motherfucker. Minor attracted people? Like that's what they call themselves? It's like, yo, we living in a wild world, y'all, where the truth is non-existent. Yo, there's no such thing as the truth no more. People can't accept it. There's no such thing as shame. There's no such thing as integrity. And I'm telling y'all, and I agree with Candace Owens, yo, we're not gonna like how this ends. I'm trying to tell you, yo, for the people that think like this, yo, we are not gonna like how this story ends. Look at what's going on with the youth right now. Why y'all think the youth is going nuts? And y'all know with every generation it gets worse and worse and worse. And the way we going, where integrity is not a thing. There's no such thing as all money ain't good money. No, that don't even fuck that. As long as you making money, that's it. It don't matter how the fuck you making it. I'm telling y'all, we is not gonna like the effects of it in year 10. You see. I've been telling people for the longest. Keep thinking it's a game. Keep thinking everything is just entertainment. Oh, it's just entertainment. Oh, he's just playing a character. Keep thinking that shit. Exactly, but their parents are the ones that's talking this shit that she's speaking out against. That's their parents.
they feel on the inside when you say that they can't have sex with 8-year-olds?
That is a hell of a point.
It is. The slippery slope is not a fallacy. It is reality. We are living the slippery slope. So somebody's going to have to produce the wall. So there's going to be a lot of voices that need to be objective and tell people the truth. I'm very happy to be those voices. If you're looking for me to, make you feel good, I can't be your mommy.
You ain't just say I need to change the motherfucking title.
But see, that's what I was saying. It's
I'm not your mommy. You're not a toddler. You're an adult.
But see,
this is what
I need to
truth
change
is.
the title
And if
to
you
Candace
can't
Owens
deal
know
with
exactly what
truth,
she's talking about.
then you're going to have a very tough life. Way
just
tougher
said that.
than having to listen to Candace Owens say, you are a man on the internet.
So, but again, in your ultimate goal, what is your ultimate goal?
For my children to grow up in a world that is still dictated by reality and not feelings, because that's the thing. We are passing this world off. So
Facts.
you have to appreciate
Facts. That's the shit I'm talking about, y'all. And that's the thing, y'all. People that's selling everybody this idea of do what you want. You understand this bullshit idea? A lot of them, for one, don't have kids. And a lot of them, for two, are making money. So it's easy to... When you're making money off this shit, it's easy to sell this to you. Because I want you to get on board. Because as long as you're on board, I continue to eat. The minute you jump off board, my motherfucking status goes down. But the problem with that is, they're not thinking about the youth. Like, oh, this shit is hurting the fucking youth. They're confused. The youth is confused. Because we got adults that like how things is because they're making a lot of money. And ultimately, what they are, they sellouts. You selling the community. Like Charleston White. Charleston White. Sean Cotton asked Charleston White, or he said to Charleston White, some people think what you're doing is detrimental. His reply to that was, bought my mother a house. I just bought my daughter 20, 25, whatever it was. It's like, damn, bro. So, as long as you making money, it's cool. So, you're going to burn down the whole block to build your house. Like I say this all the time, you can't burn my house down to build yours. That's not respected. But that's what people are doing. They're burning down the community to build their own little community. But who does that benefit? It might benefit you. But if we adopt the mentality of, yo, everybody just do what's best for them, yo, you know what that's going to do to the world, like to the streets, like to the community, to the trenches, to the hood, to the community, anywhere. If everybody adopts the mentality of, yo, do what's best for you. Especially in the black community, yo, we always have morals and principles and shit like that. Like, regardless of how people might look at them, people stood on something. Rather it was right or wrong. But if everybody adopt the mentality of, yo, step on the next man. Yo, do you know the murder rate is going to go through the roof? Through the roof. Because some people still be like, man, you ain't stepping on me. Like, I talked about the healthcare guy, the CEO from United Healthcare. It's like, yo, you can't, Diddy, you can't build a career or a lifestyle of stepping on people. Because one day you're going to get stepped on. And that's what happened to yo. He didn't build this whole corporation that was designed to step on people. Deny, defend, whatever the fuck the words was. But yo, people get fed up, yo. And one of these days, people gonna react. And when they react, are they wrong?
We're now the adults. We're the adults in the room, right? And right now we have a bunch of adults who are too scared to even say the truth. So forget the generations who had to find within themselves the strength to go to a foreign country and potentially die fighting for freedom. We're now a generation where it's so easy for us to preserve freedom. It's so easy for us to preserve righteousness. We just have to be willing to be called mean names on the internet and have mean articles written about me. People say to me, oh, Candace, how do you deal with all this hate? I don't care. But literally, I don't care. It's like, I really hope people listening to this understand, before you even write that comment, how little of a shit I give about it. Like, I want you to know that when you're writing it, whatever about her, I just don't care. And it shocks people because you know why? I live my life with real truth, right? I have a husband who loves me. I have 3 healthy children. I am close with my sisters, my cousins here.
No, Zay. That's the problem. Like, yo, that you can't do that, yo, because it becomes counterproductive. If I'm focusing on myself and my family, but I'm in a world of sellouts, then how the fuck, whatever ground I'm making, the sellouts is taking it back. So it's like, at that point, it's like I'm walking in place. It's like I'm running in place. You gotta get rid of these motherfuckers. You feel me? Like I always say, yo, the biggest problem in the black community, it ain't the man, you know, the so-called man. It's the motherfuckers that's put in place that protects the man. It's the Nick Cannons. It's the Charlemagne the Gods. It's the Masonic generals. It's those guys. Those guys are in the way. We gotta remove those guys before we ever can go against the real issue, the real problem. You understand what I'm saying? They gatekeepers. You ain't just hear what I just said. You just repeated the same thing, yo. You didn't hear what I just said. It's counterproductive. I'm moving in place. I'm moving in place.
She does my makeup like.
Yeah, I'm on live. You need help with getting the PlayStation. Tell her trying to help you. You trying to run in my room? Grab it. All you need is the cord, the power cord. You got your own HDMI cord. Just grab the PlayStation with the power cord.
Sean has that too.
It's HDMI cord in my drawer. Don't touch nothing else but the HDMI cord. It's connected to the Roku.
The Bible kind of gets it right. If you start living by the Bible, you will have this same confidence. You will find the audacity. You will realize this is not it. So you might as well contribute truth, because you're going to meet your maker. You are going to meet your creator one day. And your creator is not, whatever organization, the SPL, I think I'm on the SPLC's list, the ADL list. I just don't care. Right? They shouldn't put together these lists. They shouldn't waste their time putting me on their list, because I literally don't give a shit. And so that's why they hate me the most, because they know I don't fear them.
They're not a bigger problem.
I fear telling a lie. That's what I fear. That's my fear in life.
Wow. So, and people's feelings don't matter to you whatsoever.
I'm just not their mommies.
Once you click this video, you'll be taken to uscca.com/maps. From here, you can click on any state and get a.
But that again, because the point that I was making, we'll wrap this session up as well. But the only point that I was making, in someone who has such a strong faith, and is attempting to be as Christ-like as possible, to go waving that sword at everybody that doesn't agree with you. And because ultimately you're hurting their feelings. They're crying. There's an adverse reaction to what you're saying, because it hurts them and their well-being. You're speaking to some people that's all they know. That's all they are. Now, if I'm really trying to operate on the highest frequency, I'm like, I'm going to let you do you. Unless you come into my space with something that will then harm me, who am I to judge what you do with your life?
Hey, that's
especially
counterproductive,
if I'm attempting to be the one that's saying, hey, I am a light.
That's counterproductive. That's what I was just speaking about. That you can't that adopting that mentality doesn't work. It might work for you. Like I always say this, right? I always say this. I'm raising my kids right. My kids are respectful. My kids are smart. I think they honest for the most part. But it doesn't matter how good I'm raising my kids. When you turn on the TV, and when you go on Instagram or any social media site you go on, and all you see is black kids stealing cars, killing people, robbing people, that's all you see. Then, when my kids go outside this door, that's how they're going to be judged. That's how they're going to be judged. So all the work that I put in, it's non-important. It doesn't even matter, because I'm putting in this work, so my kids can be productive people in this world, so my kids don't be viewed as a threat. But if I'm doing this on one end, and the narrative is still being pushed that you can't block them black kids are treacherous, don't trust them, then when my kids get outside, that's how they're gonna be fucking treated. So this shit that Nick Cannon is talking don't work. It's counterproductive. Yeah, right. The truth never spared feelings. Oh God.
To you, so then maybe we can have discourse or whatever. But if I'm out there spewing things at a community, then
I'm not spewing things out of community.
Tell the truth.
I get asked a question and I answer it. That's the wildest part. People will literally ask me what I think, like Don Lemon did.
Yeah,
and
I saw
gave
your
him an
answer.
answer.
But
And then
that
people,
wasn't.
oh my gosh, I can't believe she has the audacity to say this stuff.
What she said to
Yeah,
Don
I
Lemon?
mean, I don't think, because you said you believed he was sinning based off of
His homosexual marriage. He is sinning.
But everybody's sinning. You if you eat some bacon a day, you sin it. Like it's
to
like
be very clear, he then raised the point that everybody sins. I said yes, that wasn't the question that was asked of me.
so that, and to me that exchange, like I watched the whole thing. That was probably one of the softer exchanges that you guys had. So
What happened? We're gonna watch that
but
next,
to
and I
that
remember
point,
that.
You're fearless. You speak your truth unapologetically. But there has to be, we see you clearly don't give a fuck about what other people say about you, but knowing that you want this better place for your children, it has to lead with at some sort of compassion for other people's feelings and how they feel.
No, it don't.
You cannot feel compassion for lies, especially because they have become what they're doing now is they're wielding compassion as a sword to pass through everything that they want done. And like I said,
That's
you're going to
facts.
blink, and compassion is going to end up with minor attracted peoples. Compassion is going to mean we can no longer call them pedophiles.
Yeah.
That is what is going to happen. It is what is happening.
Can't let that happen.
We are barreling toward that.
Yeah.
We are barreling toward that. It's so obvious because people they would rather tell a lie than risk offending someone. That is the magic sauce. That is what they are doing. And these people aren't kind-hearted people that are. They're
See,
vicious.
I'm not saying you should
They're
tell a
vicious.
lie.
But that is what you're
I'm just saying
That
there's
is
no
what you're saying.
point
You
to be
You just saying
But
don't
to
say nothing.
apologize to someone for
That's
simply
even worse.
stating the truth. It'd be different if you said, I saw Candace at
Yeah, for real,
Target, which
Jay.
you wouldn't, because Target supports trans children. But let's just
You don't even go to Target.
No,
So
I
you're
had
at
to stop.
Walmart.
But so Walmart's good. But you just imagine, like, if I saw them at Walmart, it's a better idea, and they're just walking and their shirt says I'm non-binary. If I went up to that person and I was like, why are you wearing that shirt? Okay, then you can say Candace aggressed me and did something. These people are choosing to find me when I'm being asked questions. They're choosing to pursue my content so that they can feel offended. Because I'm telling the truth. Literally, I'm just telling the truth. Men, I don't respect. I understand that gender dysphoria has always been a thing. I always feel compassion for people with mental disorders. If you told me you had bipolar, you were schizophrenic, whatever it is. But to the extent that you're going to say, hey, Candace, I'm bipolar, and now you have to pretend that I'm not bipolar, or Candace, I'm schizophrenic, and every time I show my personality, you have to acknowledge me according to his personality.
Oh, shut up, Cook.
I don't have to be crazy because you're crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. So I'm sorry that
Yeah, she
some
fucked them over.
people.
Bad.
I'm just not sorry.
Guys, we are gonna have to agree to disagree when it comes to compassion,
I seen
which
that.
is fine because again, I believe we probably have two different missions
I
in
think
life.
compassion is telling the truth. I believe that the
Well,
greatest
what's- so
compassion
what's
is
your
to give
mission
somebody
in
the
life,
truth
Nick?
so that they can edit their lives and they can. The only thing that's gonna fix your life.
I want to
truth.
hear what Nick mission in life
She
is.
said it. She meant it. And we have one more session to go, which I really want to get into, your strength as a Black woman, or just because I feel like that's important. Even though I know the comments is gonna go crazy in this one as well. So if there's anything else that probably needs to be said, well, I'm sure we'll handle it in the next session right here on Council Culture.
Fuck, definitely is. Nick Cannon gonna go wherever the wind blowing. I thought you stood for something. So what the fuck happened with her and Don Lemon? I gotta get ready to cook, y'all. Hold up. I want to see this though. Shit. Probably took this shit down. So all they got is on a short. Hold up. Hit that like button, y'all. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Y'all know we go live every day at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, which means we be going live again and shortly. I gotta cook for these kids. But nobody got the full interview. Probably took this shit down. She probably linked on him too bad. Yeah, she fucked Nick over. Nick worse than I thought. My heated debate. Oh, here you go. I can start cooking now.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am not okay right now. I need to talk to you guys because something has happened regarding which I may never recover. Yesterday, I did Don Lemon's podcast. Yes, that Don Lemon from CNN, formerly of CNN, I should say. And he straight up asked me if I wanted to call him a fat. Yeah, he was goading me to call him the F word. I'm going to show you some moments from that very interesting and compelling interview. Also, Michaela Peterson is retracting her comments regarding censorship, sort of, maybe not really. And the Times of Israel and Haaretz, those are Israeli publications, are now verifying a report that the IDF invoked what's known as the Hannibal Protocol.
I want to see what she had. This internet is acting stupid. Yo, subscribe to the channel if you're new, y'all. We go live every day, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. So we ready? We live in like another
I was speaking about the word faggot, meaning a bundle of sticks, because that is what it meant when I was reading Virginia Woolf. And then suddenly a button got pressed and they said, no, now people are using it to talk about homosexuals and you can no longer say that. And I said that we should not do that. We should not allow perverts dictate language. And then bizarrely, Don Lemon then tried to ask me if I wanted to call him the F word. Take a listen.
So the word you said was right?
Yeah.
Is that exactly the word? So what did you mean by that? You think it's okay to say the word, to call people a to their face?
No, actually, I said words have meaning. And so when you start allowing the perverts to dictate speech, then words just have to go away. And as I said in that clip, when I was growing up and I was reading English novels, when people say you're walking through the woods to get a faggot, it meant a bundle of sticks. And then they said you can no longer say this word that has a real meaning, right? A bundle of sticks, because some pervert took that and threw it as an epithet towards gay people. I think that's actually, that's a wrong way of thinking, because then what you're doing is you're allowing perverts to dictate society. So I don't like the death of the English language because people are getting offended. So that's like, I could pick any word. I could say, plant. And from now on, every time I see a gay guy, I'm gonna be like, he's a total plant. And then eventually they say you can't say plant anymore. It's like, no, this is a real word that has meaning. Attack the person who's perverting the word, but you don't suddenly disappear a word. And you say you can no longer say it, or you can no longer read these Virginia Woolf novels because the word has been perverted. I think that's a backwards way of thinking.
You read Virginia Woolf novels, and the only people I know who are trying to ban books, Virginia Woolf, and other books that even say the N-word. I mean, it's conservatives. That's who's trying to do it. I don't think that you should be banning books. But I do know, Candace, that language evolves over time, and when people say that word, to me, they're not calling me a cigarette.
Obviously, that's the point. It has a context. So if you want to punish that person because they're saying that offensively, that, if you feel that this person, but it's not fair to then say to everybody else who's not using that word, that this word has now been banned. I just think that's ridiculous. Yeah. That's my point. I don't think you can suddenly say go backwards and delete words that had real meaning because someone has perverted it, because it never stops. It just becomes constantly having to update the language for people's feelings. I don't think that we should be doing that.
So you would never call me a fat to my face, right?
Well, why would I just randomly call you a fat?
Have you ever seen the Louis C.K. skit
on? Have you ever seen the Louis C.K. skit on fat?
No, I like Louis C.K., but I don't think I've ever seen a skit on that. Yeah. No, but you would never call like a gay person that to their face.
That seems like an absurd.
Yeah,
like,
I
no,
see
I'm
that,
not just
Jay.
going around. I'm a 35-year-old mother. I don't go around being like, "Hey, you're a." That's just like I'm not 18 years old. Like I'm not going around calling people names. Period. I wouldn't go up to a fat person and call them names. I wouldn't call it just like it's an absurd thing to be going around pointing and calling people names because I don't like them. I would no. So the answer is no. I would not.
Do you use the N-word?
No, I don't. Still not entirely
Why is that
clear on
important?
what point he was trying to make there or
Yeah, I
why
don't
he
get
kept
that.
trying to goad me into saying that I would call him the F word. He then later on asks me if I'm a homophobe. But I said when he asked me about who I believe shot JFK. Take a listen.
The CIA killed JFK.
Yes, I believe that.
You do.
Yes.
Why is that?
Because there would be no other reason for them to lock down the files for as long as they did and then come up with a stupid Russia did it thing that long. The only time you would lock down files like that regarding a sitting president being shot. And by the way, if they knew Russia had done it, we would have gone to full-blown war because they would have killed the sitting president. And also because, and this is a very interesting fact that I learned in this book, Chaos, that people should read and actually become very informed about this. The individual that shot the individual who shot JFK,
Yeah,
his
you
name
ain't
is
know
Jacob
that?
Rubenstein,
Him and,
was
Anderson
subsequently MK Ultra'd. That was a government program in which they had realized that if you give people a cocktail of drugs, you could essentially not brainwash them, but you could make them crazy instantly. They could give you schizophrenia instantly. So the doctor that was behind that, Dr. Leslie, this is all a fact, by the way. This is not like these are declassified. The reporter who worked on this for 22 years of his life working on this was Tom O'Neill. So I know you're laughing, but I'm encouraging you to actually read it. It could just be something you didn't know. The book is called Chaos, the CIA, the 1960s, and MK Ultra. And they MK Ultra'd, admittedly, in the documents, they MK Ultra'd Jacob Rubenstein, which is why the judge, on the day that he appeared, the second day that he appeared, said what happened to him. I was speaking to him totally fine yesterday, and now you're telling me that he's legally insane.
But what I want you to know is, and I think the book is called Chaos, as you said, people read it. Some of the things that you're mentioning and the names that you're mentioning have been written about before, and just as maybe you weren't aware of the birth certificate, the other things perhaps you weren't aware of.
That's what they pushing that shit on.
The investigations that have taken place.
You just can't shoot a president in broad daylight and then we pretend we don't know who did it. That's just that. You have to be a conspiracy theorist to believe our government had nothing to do with the shooting of JFK. That's my viewpoint. It's too ridiculous.
Okay, I'll disagree with that because I just don't. I'm not a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah,
do you take offense when people call you a conspiracy theorist?
Do you think what?
Do you take offense when people call you?
No, because I've studied the history of psychology in this country, and I know that term was actually entered into the American mindset after the shooting of JFK. They started using the term conspiracy theory to make people get off of their tail or not ask questions by making it seem like it's crazy to want to know who shot a sitting president in broad daylight. And that, my friend, is a fact, that they never expect you to know any facts beyond the ones that they give you. And typically what they're giving you are not facts. What they're giving you, the mainstream media, are conspiracies.
God, here we go. That dumbass. Hit that like button, y'all. Hey, y'all, we didn't have like 10,000 people
in
here.
my face
We got 60,
at the
60
concept
likes.
of Christian persecution. I lost my cool. Take a listen.
Huh?
It's not about the Holocaust, okay? Christians suffered too. In fact, we are the most persecuted religion in the world. And I am so sick of it. I am so sick of there can only be one victim narrative. And if you start talking about
Christian and we are
My bad, y'all.
not the most persecuted in the world.
That is a fact. What are you saying? We're not the most persecuted religion in the world. Do you know what's happening in Armenia? Do you know what's happening in Nigeria? Do you know what just happened in Canada? The fake story that was propagated by all of the mainstream networks about the nuns, and they found the mass burial, which allowed 85 Catholic churches to be burned to the ground in the last 3 years in Canada. We are still being persecuted right now. So I take great offense to you coming in here about the sensitivities of the people that are working on your show when I'm sitting here telling you that I'm a Christian and I'm offended by what you're saying, and you laugh, you mock Christian persecution. Do you think it's acceptable to laugh when someone tells you about Christian persecution? Because let me tell you something, if I had done that, if I had laughed about the Holocaust, I would be chased out of polite society. Then don't laugh. Don't laugh at Christian persecution.
Straight up,
laughable is mean that the name is in the term. It's
do not laugh. You literally just laugh when I talk Christian persecution. Don't do that ever again. Not in my presence. And that is exactly how I felt. And I just wanted.
Yo, she went in on old Donnie. But y'all, we go live. Yeah, we be live in another 2 hours. I gotta make these kids something to eat. Shit, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Support the platform. If you can't, hit the Cash App at the bottom of the screen. We gotta change the title of this video, y'all. I thought I was gonna disagree with Candace Owens, and I think I agree with everything she fucking said. You know, because I do disagree with her on certain topics pertaining to the black community. But she ain't talk about that this video. You know, I don't pre-watch the videos, y'all, before we go live on. I try to make sure that we, you know, I want everything to be real. You feel me? Like, I don't want to pre-watch something and then go back over it. And then go back over it. Yeah, I don't want to pre-watch something and then go back over it. So, shit. So I make sure we all watch it together, you heard me? Like I said, y'all, you can't support the platform. We be live in 2 hours. It's another day of Keeping G News. Salute to everybody that tapped in. Yeah, I want the reaction to be natural. And I'm out.